And hello everybody, welcome back to British Stand. There has been a lot of debate since Prime Minister's questions last week when new Reform MP Sarah Pochin, of course, brung up the question on whether the UK or whether Prime Minister Keir Starmer would support banning the burqa. Now that's thrown the left into meltdown, of course, but there is a debate to be had with regard to it for security reasons and all of these kind of things. There's a lot of countries within Europe that, of course, have already banned the burqa, and today we're going to be watching and reacting to this in debate format. And one in particular guest on the panel completely obliterates and destroys this leftist argument. As always, we will watch and react, but first, please do hit the like button and hit the subscribe button for more British content. Have a watch.
New Hamilton MP, white. Anyway, let's go back to burqas. So it's not controversial to want to ban it here because here are the other countries that have. France, Belgium, Norway, the Netherlands, Austria, Cameroon, Chad, Congo. There's plenty of others as well. So, what I want to know tonight is, should Britain ban the burqa? I'm going to go straight to an audience member, I believe. Oh, lady on the front row.
Hi.
With
Hi,
my
Patrick.
Sharon, is it?
Hi, yeah.
Where have you come from, Sharon?
I'm from Wimbledon.
From Wimbledon, lovely part of the world.
Yes,
So go on, what would you like to say about the burqa, Sharon?
So, after Zia Youssef resigned as Reform UK chairman in a row over the burqa, is Reform UK MP Sarah Pochin right that the burqa should be banned?
OK, all right. Let's get a feel for the room then. So just by way of noise, who's pro-burqa ban? Yeah! Fair enough. Just for the sake of balance, would anyone not ban the burqa? Right. OK. Right. I will start with you, Christo. Are you banning the burqa?
Well, firstly, I wish Reform would stop rowing. I mean, it's like handbags at dawn. I know it's Pride Month, but they're taking it a bit far, if you ask me. Look, I would, and I'll tell you why I would. And it's because, well, firstly, anyone that is saying that it's illiberal or non-libertarian to ban it, we ban loads of things in this country. The government is interfering in parts of our life that they shouldn't interfere in at all. So banning is not a strange concept. It sexualises women by making out that they are sexual objects that need to cover themselves. It makes out all men being Neanderthals who can't control themselves round them, which is why they need to cover themselves. It promotes inequality because Islamic men don't have to wear them. I'm very concerned about children having to wear them in some form or other. They create a barrier between a person and the society in which they are supposed to be integrating. It is not a choice that many of people who wear the burqa do because it's pressure from their own community. Now, all of those people who are saying that it is not a libertarian thing to ban the burqa, well, let's see how libertarian they are when it comes to burning the Quran or having a cartoon of the Prophet Muhammad. Okay. Suddenly, that libertarian argument would sail away. Okay, so that's my view.
Now, given that the burqa disproportionately affects women, we probably should go to the lady on the panel. Emily, are you banning the burqa?
It winds me up as well when people use the language of liberalism to defend something that is the antithesis of those liberal values and of Western liberal values. It is so enraging, and comparing the burqa to a medical mask or comparing it to a helmet or something like that, it's totally different. It's got a lot of baggage compared to those items, let's say. But I'm not sure if a ban would work on the streets, for example. Can you imagine police going around and enforcing that? We can't even enforce a vape ban, so I'm not sure if they'd be able to enforce that. But in public bodies, in public buildings, in schools, in courts, in libraries and other places, I think it should be banned. In this country, people show their faces. People show their faces. It is a basic way that we interact with one another. I am most concerned, well, apart from those women who are coerced into wearing it, I am most concerned with women who choose to wear it. Why are you choosing to wear a burqa in this country? It puts up that barrier immediately. You're saying, I want to hide my identity. How can there be any accountability in any public space? Do something wrong, no one knows what you're saying. Who's going to talk to you? Okay. It's impossible. Anyway,
all right.
Go on about this.
Jay, go on.
Yeah, I don't think... I lived in the Middle East. I spoke to women...
Yeah, I think that's a very, very good point that she made there, which is just completely blown out the argument out of the water. And I do think, especially, a lot of people get into a meltdown with regard to this conversation. It's actually not that ludicrous. You know, no one's saying that you can ban headscarf and all of these kind of things, or turban for that matter. It's the face veil, you know, the one with the eyes. I don't think that's that ludicrous to have that conversation at all. And the lady there just made some very, very, very good points.
Who'd wear burqas or niqabs. Lots of women I spoke to wear it because they choose to. We can't put our own aspersions and our own feelings onto them. If people say they choose to wear it, then they choose to wear it. My personal feeling on the matter is that, as lots of people know, I always talk about my grandma. She was Danish. In Denmark in 2018, they banned burqas. They also banned balaclavas, any kind of face covering in public. And it's enforced because the police will go up to you and they'll give you a fine, and that's how it's enforced. And in Denmark, it works fine. But I think if we're going to ban the burqa, we should absolutely ban in balaclavas, because I'm not afraid when I see women in balaclavas, in burqas.
Yeah, I know, absolutely.
Yeah, I agree with that as well. Completely agree with that. 100%.
Absolutely. Look, I don't know if people see this, they probably do when you get on public transport, you're walking around the street. You know, you're starting to see an increasing number of young blokes walking around in balaclavas.
Yeah.
Well, why are you doing that? What are you up to? You know, and it's not nice, is it? And you think, well, there's little chance anyway if you presented the police with a clear mugshot of their face to begin with, that they might come and nick them if they decide to steal your phone, let alone if they got a balaclava. Barry, your views on this? So the Prime Minister kind of scoffed at it, didn't answer the question, so where are you on it?
Well, I think the important points that were made by all three of the panel are about freedom of choice. I mean, I think as a man, I wouldn't tell any woman what she ought to wear, and I don't think it's right that we go around prescribing that women can or cannot wear this or that. When it comes to the burqa, it seems to me that if you're going to ban it, you've got to say, on what basis are you banning it? And I think the basis that they banned it in Morocco, for example, and I think that's what the sort of thing you were alluding to, JJ, is that it was banned on security grounds. And that, it seems to me, then it follows that you then have to...
That's my point. It's not about... I mean, people have different opinions on it. As I said, I'm very, very conservative and I don't discriminate. It is on the security grounds. You know, I do believe that any of us, you know, I could wear one of those and go and cause mayhem, and people wouldn't be able to, or they would feel that they couldn't do anything about me wearing that because it's a religious dress and all of these kind of things. It's almost a mask for that. And whilst, yes, many people, of course, that do wear that or choose to wear that are not committing crimes as such, it is a security threat, and that's the basis that I would look at it. And I would join in the fact that the other guy there, in terms of his beliefs and his views, when he was talking about the balaclava, I absolutely agree with that as well. That's absolutely something that should be banned as well. And going around like Denmark did and finding individuals that do that, that's the way you could police it.
Yeah, OK, we're going to ban balaclavas as well. But, you know, these are things which are, you know, all-encompassing, aren't they? But we never had the same problem about all-encompassing when it was a nun, because that was part of our cultural tradition. And that's a key difference. That's exactly the key difference. But so it's not the all-enveloping garment. It is the issue of, if we have a society that wants to engage with each other, that wants to be open and transparent, and where you can judge people, as we all do, by their facial expressions, then I think it's important that we can see each other. But I don't think that in itself gives rise to a ban. The security situation might, if there were evidence...
Well, there has been a case, there was a guy who was from Somalia who was believed to be a member of Al-Shabaab. He went into an East London mosque not wearing the burqa, came out wearing a burqa, went on the run, a classic of the genre. There is somebody else who has got a point on this. There he is, that man there. Is it possible to just... We'll get someone to whiz the microphone over to him. There you go, pass it on over. Sir, what's your name? Where do you come from?
Hello, Patrick. Hello, everybody. My name's Glyn Evans. I'm from Portsmouth, and my wife is with me, Rachel, also
there you go.
from Portsmouth.
Fantastic. God, she wanted to be on the telly as well, so there you go.
Yes, exactly. Yes, here she is.
What would you like to say?
I would like to now listening to all of the comments on this, it's changed my question slightly, but now I'd like to ask the panel, do you think that Zia Youssef would still be the chairman of the Reform Party had Sarah Pochin not said burqa, she said face coverings.
OK, it's an interesting question because this was the rumour, wasn't it, that really, or the suggestion, that he'd gone... Well, what pushed him over the edge was the idea that she'd raised the burqa thing. He called it dumb on social media. Christo, what do you think about that? Do you think that...
I'd have said both. I'd have said the burqa and other face coverings. I'd have said both, because I think that face coverings is a really fair point, and it makes the really good argument about the balaclava and all of those sorts of things. But it also doesn't raise the point about inequality. No one wears a balaclava because they would have social stigma from their own community for not wearing one. So I think that I would have said probably both, and I think that's a really fair point, and it might have tempered some of the disagreements.
So just again, feel for the room. Is anyone here concerned that reform might be falling apart? No?
Concerned would be the wrong word.
OK, well, yeah, Barry would be like... No, but it's interesting. Was anyone here who might be a reform voter or sympathetic to reform or whatever, was anyone here particularly bothered that Zia Youssef has gone? Yes. Who's on yes? So, Steve, you've got the mic already. Why are you bothered that he's gone? Go on.
Well, I think he's an absolute perfect figurehead. I mean, listening to Nigel Farage, I do believe Nigel Farage and what he said, and complimentary to Zia yesterday. He has worked hard. He's been there for 11 months. He's the perfect guy, which I think that we'd like to see as the chairman.
OK.
Not knowing the whole depth of it, but I just think he comes over very, very well. And it's very obvious that he's worked very hard to get reform exactly where they are.
Yeah, all right. Well, Emily, your views on this. Do you think that this is a problem for reform, that Zia Youssef has gone after the burqa comments?
Well, it's difficult because we don't actually know if it was the burqa question that pushed him over the edge. Whether it was the fact he wasn't consulted on the question or whether it was the question in and of itself. Because if he is against a member of parliament and a member of his party asking that question, then I think that is problematic. Then that is problematic. But I don't know. I'm sure the party will be fine without Zia Youssef, but I don't think it's great for their, the optics, is it?
Fine. JJ, I just wonder, even if... I mean, look, the obvious answer for Keir Starmer to have said about the burqa ban was just no. There's no way in hell that Keir Starmer wants to ban the burqa. So that begs the question for me, why didn't he just say no? But I do worry that there would be riots on the streets if we decided to ban the burqa, and maybe that in itself says something about integration in Britain.
I think maybe there'd be some riots in some areas, but I don't think it would be across the whole country. It'd just be in smaller areas where there's a large population of people who support the burqa. But speaking of what point Emily made earlier about saying women shouldn't be told how to dress by men, before we came on stage, I heard Patrick, I don't know what they're talking about, but I heard Patrick saying to Emily, more boob, more boob. Okay? That's all.
So there you go, guys. Let's take over to the comment section. What do you believe? What do you think of the debate? And what's your views on banning the burqa within the United Kingdom? As stated, let me know in the comments. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you next time. Take care. Peace.